My name is Emily. I'm 34 years old. I have 2 kids. And the sentence that finally ended my relationship with my mother wasn't screamed or whispered. It was delivered calmly, confidently, to my children, like a truth that had already been voted on. Your mother is a failure. That's why we don't help her. I recorded it. Before I tell you what happened next, before Thanksgiving, before the family group chat, before the implosion, if your own blood has ever turned on you, I want you to say it in the comments. Share your story. Share this video. And stay until the very end, because what I did after hearing that sentence erased a family that had already erased me. Now listen, I grew up as the child my mother tolerated, not the criminal, not the rebel, just the inconvenient one, the one who asked why, the one who noticed things, the one who didn't perform gratitude on cue. My brother was golden because he agreed with her. My sister was adored because she reflected well in photos. I was neither obedient nor decorative, and that made me a liability. Why do you always have to make things so hard? My mother used to say, pressing her lips together like she was holding back embarrassment. Embarrassed of me. 30 years later, nothing had changed, except now I had children. 2 of them, 8 and 10. I was divorced, exhausted, working 2 jobs, calculating groceries down to the dollar. I didn't ask my parents for money. I didn't ask them to rescue me. I asked for something smaller, something specific. Can you watch the kids twice a week? I asked my mother. Just for a few hours, so I can pick up extra shifts. She smiled. That controlled smile she uses when she's about to deny you without leaving fingerprints. Well, she said slowly, carefully, we'll see. Things are complicated right now. Complicated meant me. It always did. The first Tuesday, I dropped my kids off at her house. Same immaculate living room, same decorative pillows no one was allowed to touch. Same framed photos lining the walls. My brother's wedding, my sister's vacations, my parents glowing. If I appeared at all, it was from a distance, cropped like an afterthought. Shoes off, my mother snapped at my kids. Sit properly. I smiled anyway. I always smiled. I'll be back at 6, I said. She replied, already turning away. I came back early, 30 minutes early, and I heard her before I even touched the door. Her voice was relaxed, comfortable, certain. I don't understand why she expects help, my mother said. She made her choices. My daughter's voice followed, small, hesitant. Grandma, what do you mean? My hand froze on the doorknob. My mother laughed. A soft, dismissive sound. I mean your mother is a failure, she said. That's why we don't help her. If she had done things right, she wouldn't be struggling like this. There was a pause. My son asked quietly, Is our mom bad? Something inside me went completely still. I pulled my phone out without thinking, hit record, and opened the door. My mother didn't even stop talking. She's always been irresponsible, she continued. Emotional. Never listens. Some people are just like that. She turned and saw me. No guilt, no shock, just annoyance. Oh, she said. You're early. I raised my phone. My hand was shaking, but the camera was steady. You're recording me? She scoffed. Emily, don't be dramatic. Say it again, I said. She rolled her eyes. Don't start. The kids deserve honesty. The kids deserve respect, I said. My voice sounded foreign, tight, controlled, dangerous. She waved a hand. You always twist things to make yourself the victim. I knelt in front of my children. Get your shoes, I said. They hesitated. Now, I repeated. In the car, no one spoke. Halfway home, my daughter broke the silence. Mom, are you a failure? I gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles burned. No, I said, but some people need me to be. That night, after the kids were asleep, I watched the video again, and again, and again, 17 times. And that was only the beginning. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard her voice again, measured, confident, satisfied, not angry, not emotional. She hadn't lost control when she said it. That was the part that hollowed me out the most. She believed every word. I sat on the couch long after midnight, phone glowing in my hands, replaying the recording over and over like if I listened closely enough, something would change. It didn't. The next morning, my daughter didn't ask for cereal. She just sat at the table, elbows tucked in, staring at nothing. "Mickey hurts people," my son suddenly said. I looked up. "What?" He shrugged. "Grandma said Mickey hurts people when he's bad." Mickey was our dog. A stupid comparison, but I understood what he was really asking. Are bad ones allowed to be punished? My throat tightened. "Grandma's wrong," I said. "But she said it slow," my daughter added. Like when teachers say facts. That sentence hit harder than the original. I didn't text my mother. I didn't call. I waited. I wanted to see how long it would take before she tried to control the narrative. It took 6 hours. She called while I was at work. I let it go to voicemail. Her message was light, almost cheerful. "Emily, I can tell you're upset, but you need to calm down. You're overreacting, and involving the kids is inappropriate. Call me when you're ready to be rational." Ready to be rational. I laughed out loud in the supply closet, a sound that startled a coworker on the other side of the door. She didn't mention what she said. Not once. She didn't deny it. She didn't apologize. She reframed it. When I didn't respond, she escalated. A text came next. "You've always been sensitive. Don't project your failures onto me." I stared at the word failures until the letters blurred. That evening, she dropped my kids home. She didn't speak to me directly, just stood in my doorway, lips tight, purse clutched like armor. "You're welcome," she said to the air. My daughter didn't hug her. My son stayed behind me. My mother noticed. "What's this?" she asked sharply. "You turning them against me now?" I didn't answer. She leaned closer, lowering her voice. "Be very careful, Emily. You don't want to ruin how they see family." Family. After she left, my daughter closed the door herself and locked it. "I don't like her," she said. I crouched down in front of her. "You don't have to like everyone." "Is that bad?" my son asked. "No," I said. "What's bad is when adults say things they can't take back." That night was worse than the first. Because now the kids were listening. Every pause, every breath. By the third day, the family group chat lit up like nothing had happened. Photos, laughing emojis, my sister complaining about traffic, my brother complaining about work, my mother reacting to everything like a queen passing judgment. No one asked how my kids were. No one checked in. It wasn't an accident. I noticed my name stopped appearing entirely. Conversations flowed around me, past me, like I'd already been erased. On Friday afternoon, my sister sent a message. "Thanksgiving this year at Mom's. Noon. Bring sides." I read it 3 times. I wasn't included. I wasn't excluded either. I was invisible. My daughter saw me staring at my phone. "Are we going to Grandma's for Thanksgiving?" she asked. I didn't know how to answer. That was when I understood something with terrifying clarity. What my mother said to my kids wasn't a slip. It wasn't frustration. It wasn't private. It was policy. This was how they talked about me when I wasn't there. This was what had always been decided behind closed doors. The recording hadn't created the betrayal. It had exposed it. On Sunday night, my mother called again. This time her voice was firmer, irritated. "You need to stop sulking," she said. "The kids still need structure. Thanksgiving is coming, and I expect you to behave appropriately." "Am I invited?" I asked. There was a pause, a calculated one. "Well," she said slowly, "we don't want drama." I hung up. That's when I renamed the video file. Not Mom, not Conversation. I named it Thanksgiving. And for the first time since hearing her say it, I smiled. Silence is louder than screaming when you know it's intentional. After I hung up on my mother, the house went quiet in a way that felt staged, like the calm right after something has already exploded and you're waiting to see what still falls from the ceiling. The kids were in their rooms, doors half closed. No music, no television. They were listening without meaning to. I could tell. I didn't tell them we weren't invited to Thanksgiving. Not yet. I let the question hang in the air, unfinished, heavy. I told myself I needed time. What I really needed was to hear how my family would spin this without me saying a word. I didn't message the group chat, didn't post selfies, didn't ask follow-up questions. I disappeared. By Monday, my mother noticed. She didn't text, "Are you okay?" She texted, "Why are you being difficult?" I didn't respond. Then came the passive concern, delivered like a warning shot. "The kids seemed tense when they left yesterday. You don't need to involve them in adult issues." Adult issues. As if she hadn't branded me in front of them like a bad investment. That night, at dinner, my son pushed his food around and said, "If we don't go to Grandma's, will she be mad?" My daughter didn't look up. She already is. 8 years old. And already fluent in emotional consequences she never signed up for. "She's not mad at you," I said carefully. "And you didn't do anything wrong." "Did you?" my son asked. That question landed straight in my chest. I didn't answer right away. "No," I said finally. "I didn't." But I didn't say it confidently. I said it like someone who has been told her entire life that boundaries are crimes. By Wednesday, the group chat was louder than ever. Pictures of pies, grocery hauls, my sister fighting with her husband about seating arrangements, my brother sending jokes, my mother reacting to everything with heart emojis and praise. I watched as if from underwater. My name never appeared. Not even once. Missing, but not missing. That's when it clicked. This wasn't punishment, this was procedure. The silence wasn't waiting for reconciliation, it was waiting for compliance. For me to show up apologetic, grateful, willing to absorb whatever version of myself they preferred. The kids noticed before I said anything. "Why don't they talk to you?" my daughter asked quietly one night. "They do," I lied. "Just not right now." She nodded but didn't believe me. Kids know when adults are lying for social reasons. She'd seen enough of it by now. Thursday morning, the pressure shifted. My aunt messaged privately. "Your mother is worried. She doesn't understand why you're pulling away." I stared at the screen until my hands went cold. No one asked why I was hurt. They only wanted to know why I wasn't playing my role. Another message came in. From a cousin. "You always hold grudges. Life's too short." I didn't even open it. That afternoon, I listened to the recording again. Not 17 times like the first night. Just once. To remind myself I wasn't imagining tone, or intent, or context. It was crisp, clear, undeniable. This hadn't been a private frustration. It had been a lesson, delivered to my children with authority. Thanksgiving Eve arrived without ceremony. I still hadn't told the kids. We were folding laundry when my daughter finally asked, "What time are we going tomorrow?" I stopped folding. "We're not going," I said. She looked up. Waiting. Why? I didn't soften it. I didn't dramatize it either. Because we weren't invited. Her face changed. Not heartbreak, not surprise, recognition. "Oh," she said, "because Grandma doesn't like you." I closed my eyes. "That's not your problem," I said. She shrugged. "It still feels bad." "Yes," I said. "It does." That night, the group chat exploded with final plans. Someone posted, "Can't wait to have everyone together tomorrow." Everyone. I held my phone in the dark, watching the screen glow against my ceiling. Watched the typing bubbles rise and disappear. Watched my mother like messages. Watched silence wear my name down to nothing. At 11:48 p.m., one message finally appeared, addressed to me. "Are you coming or not?" No apology. No acknowledgement. No invitation. Just expectation. I didn't reply. Instead, I opened my phone gallery, clicked on the video, played the first 10 seconds, stopped it. Tomorrow they would ask why we weren't there. Tomorrow they would act confused. Tomorrow they would pretend this hadn't already been decided. I set my alarm, face down, finished folding the laundry, and waited for Thanksgiving morning, knowing exactly what I was going to do when they asked. Thanksgiving morning arrived quietly. No rush, no chaos. No last-minute phone calls asking where we were. The silence felt deliberate, like they had already adjusted the day to exclude us, like we had been removed from the seating chart before the turkey ever went in the oven. I woke up before the kids and stood in the kitchen staring at the cheap aluminum roasting pan on the counter. I hadn't planned anything elaborate. No ritual, no revenge dinner, just food, just survival. By 9 a.m., the group chat woke up. Pictures first. My sister's spotless kitchen. My mother's dining table stretched wide, decorated like it was hosting a magazine shoot. Everyone smiling. Everyone present. Everyone but us. A message followed. "Running late, but the house smells amazing." Another. "Mom really outdid herself this year." My mother sent a heart reaction. I watched from my couch, phone heavy in my hand, like I was observing a parallel reality where I had never existed. My daughter came in wearing her pajamas, hair tangled, eyes already searching my face. "Are we leaving soon?" she asked. I swallowed. "No." She nodded slowly. "Okay." She didn't ask why this time. That question had already been answered yesterday. We ate toast and scrambled eggs. Quietly. My son dropped his fork and apologized too much. My daughter kept checking her phone even though she didn't have one, muscle memory from watching me. By noon, the group chat accelerated. People tagging each other, jokes, toasts, photos of plates loaded with food. My mother posing at the head of the table like a benevolent center of gravity. At 12:14 p.m., someone finally noticed. My aunt typed, "Wait, Emily isn't here?" I didn't move. I watched the typing bubbles pop up, disappear, reappear. My mother responded first. She decided not to come. Decided. Like this had been a choice. Like I'd woken up and opted for exclusion. My sister added, "Probably overwhelmed. You know how she is." There it was. Casual, dismissive. Agreed upon silently. My phone buzzed again. This time, a private message. From my brother. "Why aren't you here? Kids okay?" I stared at it until the words lost meaning. At 12:21 p.m., a group chat message landed like a test. "Emily, everything okay?" No invitation, no apology, no acknowledgement of days of silence, just curiosity. Performance concern. I felt something click, not break, lock into place. I asked the kids to go to their rooms. "Why?" my son asked. "Because I need a minute," I said. They didn't argue. I sat alone on the couch, phone in my lap, Thanksgiving noise bleeding through the screen. Laughter I wasn't part of, a family that had decided I was an inconvenience rather than a person. My mother sent another message. "If you're upset, we can talk later." Today is about family. I laughed out loud. Today is about control, I said to the room. I opened my gallery, scrolled past birthday photos, blurred school performances, screenshots of bills, and there it was, the video. I pressed play. Her voice filled the room again, measured and unbothered. Your mother is a failure. I stopped it, took a breath. My hands weren't shaking this time. I returned to the group chat, watched messages pile on, watched them theorize, watched them soften the narrative so it still benefited them. At 12:37 p.m., someone asked the question they'd been circling all morning. Why didn't you come, Emily? That was it. No defense, no explanation typed, no emotional labor offered. I tapped the plus sign, selected the video. The file name stared back at me. Thanksgiving. I attached it. The preview loaded. A thumbnail of my mother's living room, perfectly framed, right before she destroyed me in front of my children. My finger hovered over send. From the other room, I heard my daughter laughing at something on her tablet, unaware of what was about to happen. Safe. I pressed send. The message delivered instantly. No explanation, no commentary. Just the truth. Finally placed where it belonged. The chat went silent. Typing bubbles froze mid-formation. Scene indicators stacked up one by one. And I leaned back into the couch, exhaled, and waited for the fallout, knowing there was no going back, and not caring anymore whether they followed me there or not. For 3 whole seconds, nothing happened. Not a single reaction. No typing bubbles. No gasps wrapped in text. Just the blue check marks lining up beside my name, one by one, as they opened the video. I imagined them watching it where they sat. Forks paused mid-air, glasses half raised. My mother at the head of the table, realizing too late that the room had gone quiet. Then the chat exploded. What is this? Is this real? Who recorded this? Emily, why would you do this? 4 messages landed at once, overlapping, panicked. My sister typed next. Mom was just venting. She didn't mean it like that. Vent. To my kids. My brother jumped in immediately. You should have come to her directly instead of embarrassing her in front of everyone. There it was. Not, did she say it? Not, are the kids okay? Embarrassed her. Someone added laughing emojis. Someone removed them seconds later. My mother didn't respond. Not yet. I watched the typing indicator appear next to her name, then vanish. Appear again. Vanish. Finally, her message came through. This is extremely unfair. You took something out of context and turned it into a spectacle. Out of context. I replied once. Just once. You said it. To my children. There is no other context. The responses stacked up faster after that. You're always playing the victim. Everyone says things they don't mean. You didn't have to humiliate her today of all days. Humiliate. Not traumatize. Not betray. My aunt tried to soften it. Let's talk about this after dinner. Families argue. This didn't need to happen here. I didn't answer, because my mother finally did. Her message was long. Paragraphs, carefully structured like a closing argument. I have spent my life supporting you despite your choices. I refuse to be painted as a villain because you can't handle accountability. If you feel attacked, that's something you need to examine. Accountability. I almost admired how cleanly she flipped it. That's when I stood up. Walked to the kitchen. Made myself a plate of food I barely tasted. Came back to the couch and opened the group chat one last time. Messages were coming in faster now. This is manipulative. You're tearing the family apart. Think about your kids. That one made me laugh. Out loud. I typed one final message. My kids already heard everything they needed to. Then I blocked my mother. The chat stuttered. Messages still came through, now from individual numbers, new threads, new attempts. I blocked my sister, then my brother, then my aunt, one by one. I watched the list disappear. My phone went blessedly quiet. I set it face down on the table. From the hallway, my daughter peeked out. "Is it bad?" she asked. I met her eyes. "It's over," I said. She didn't ask anything else. We ate our food in silence. Not sad silence. Not angry silence. The kind of silence that only exists after something has been completely and finally destroyed. An hour later, my phone wouldn't stop vibrating. Even blocked, the notifications stacked. Voicemails, missed calls, unknown numbers lighting up the screen. I didn't touch it. I didn't need to. Because the truth was already out. They could scream, rewrite, collapse. I had already said everything I was ever going to say. And for the first time in my life, my mother couldn't control the ending. I didn't check my phone for 2 days. I knew it would still be there, buzzing, blinking, demanding something from me. But I didn't owe it my attention anymore. The silence I'd chosen wasn't weakness. It was quarantine, emotional triage. When I finally picked it up, it felt heavier than it had before. Like it was carrying other people's panic now instead of my pain. 203 notifications. I didn't open them right away. I scrolled. Missed calls from numbers I'd blocked, voicemails from unknown contacts, messages sent through apps I forgot I even had. People bypassing barriers to reach me like the truth was something I wasn't allowed to walk away from. I tapped the first voicemail. It was my aunt, crying. "Emily, it's gotten out of hand. Your mother is devastated. You didn't have to ruin the holiday. You've made your point. Please call me." Made my point. The next voicemail was my sister, angry, controlled. "You really crossed a line. You're acting like you're the only one who's ever struggled. Mom didn't deserve this." The next one was quieter, uncertain. "What do you want from us?" I didn't answer. The messages painted a pattern fast, some apologetic, some accusatory, some desperate. None of them asked the question that mattered. Not one of them asked what it was like for my children to hear their grandmother call their mother a failure. I opened one text. I didn't agree with what she said, but airing it publicly was extreme. Another. "She didn't know you were recording. That matters." Another. "You're going to regret how you handled this." Regret. As if restraint had ever been rewarded in that family. Then I heard her voice again. Not through video this time, through voicemail. 17 seconds in, I almost deleted it. But I listened. "Emily," my mother said, her voice shaking, not with remorse, but with indignation. "I don't recognize you right now. I don't know why you're doing this to me. I was speaking honestly, and you weaponized it. The entire family is in chaos because you couldn't handle a conversation. Weaponized honesty." She paused, took a breath. "We can fix this, but you need to remove the video. You need to apologize, and then we can talk about how to move forward." There it was. Control, no apology, no ownership, just negotiation, terms and conditions attached to my existence. I deleted the voicemail without replying. The kids noticed the change before I said anything. "You're not checking your phone," my son said. "I don't need to," I replied. "Is Grandma still mad?" I considered lying. "No," I said. "She's upset." "What's the difference?" my daughter asked. I didn't answer that one. By day 3, the messages shifted tone. They softened. "We just want peace. Families don't do this. Life is too short." That sentence showed up 11 times from 11 different people, like it was rehearsal dialogue. And every time I saw it, I thought, then why was my childhood so long? I didn't reply. Instead, I did something small and final. I saved the video file to a hard drive, then I deleted it from my phone. Not because I was ashamed, not because I doubted it, but because I didn't need to carry it with me anymore. The damage had been done, the illusion was broken, the recording had served its purpose. I changed my phone number that afternoon. New email, new passwords, new walls. When the confirmation screen popped up, "Your number has been updated successfully," I felt something unexpected. Relief. That night, my daughter curled up next to me and said, "Are we still a family?" I wrapped my arms around her tight enough to answer with truth instead of comfort. "Yes," I said, "just not the loud kind." Outside, the world kept moving. Group chats filled with damage control, stories rewritten, blame redistributed. Inside our apartment, it was quiet. Not empty, not lonely, just quiet. And for the first time in my life, no one was waiting on the other side of that silence to tell me who I was allowed to be. Silence doesn't arrive all at once. It settles. It replaces things. It shows up where noise used to live and waits for you to notice. At first, it sounded like missed calls that never came. No holidays on the calendar. No group chats buzzing with forced check-ins or unsolicited opinions. Just empty space where obligations used to sit. Weeks passed, then months. No one showed up late at night with apologies. No dramatic reconciliation. No heartfelt monologues about accountability or growth. The family story ended exactly how it had lived, quietly rewritten without my input. I stopped expecting messages. That was the real shift. The kids adapted faster than I did. My son stopped asking about grandma altogether. My daughter brought her name up once, months later, like testing a word she wasn't sure she remembered correctly. "She used to be loud," she said. "Yes," I replied. She did. Thanksgiving came again. This time, I didn't dread it. I didn't mark it as survival. It was just a day. A small table, takeout containers, a cheap turkey cooked wrong. We ate on the couch. No dresses, no performance. After dinner, my son fell asleep with his head on my lap. My daughter played a game on her tablet. Feet tucked beneath her like she was grounded in the space she occupied instead of bracing to be judged in it. I glanced at my phone once. No notifications. I didn't flinch. I thought about all the years I had spent explaining myself, softening myself, shrinking so other people wouldn't feel exposed by my needs, how much silence I had endured before, and how different this one felt. This silence wasn't punishment. It was aftermath. Sometimes, late at night, I still hear her voice in my head. That sentence, calm, surgical. "Your mother is a failure." It doesn't hurt the way it used to. Now it sounds distant, detached, like someone else's story that I survived and no longer participate in. The kids don't ask me to explain family dynamics. They don't ask why some people disappear from your life, even though they're still alive. They don't need to. They see what stayed. They see a house where no one gets labeled, where mistakes aren't introduced as character flaws, where love doesn't come with conditions disguised as honesty. Sometimes my daughter catches me watching them, like she knows I'm measuring something invisible. "Are we okay?" she asks. "Yes," I say. And for once, the answer doesn't feel borrowed. Silence, I've learned, isn't the absence of sound. It's the absence of distortion. No competing narratives, no defense posture, no voice rearranging reality while smiling at your children. Just space. Space to exist without being edited. Space to be believed without recording. Space where no one is telling my kids who I'm supposed to be. I didn't lose a family. I shed an audience. And what silence sounds like now is this: peaceful enough that I don't need to prove it's real.